On this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 214, with one answering present. The bill is passed.
In a major legislative victory for U.S. President Donald Trump's second term, House Republicans narrowly passed Trump's big, beautiful tax bill in a 215 to 214 vote after days of debate and high-stakes negotiations on Capitol Hill. The bill delivers on Trump's second-term promises by eliminating taxes on overtime and workers' tips and offering new breaks on car loans and small businesses. It also extends the Trump-era corporate and individual tax cuts first passed in 2017, while slashing many of the climate and clean energy incentives introduced by former President Biden. Two Republicans, Representatives Thomas Massie and Warren Davidson, joined all Democrats in voting no, while a third GOP lawmaker voted present, making the margin razor thin. Democrats unanimously opposed the bill, which passed after 2 days of debate and last-minute amendments. The bill extends Trump-era tax cuts, slashes green energy incentives, and tightens aid for poor Americans. It also includes funding for immigration crackdowns and military boosts, key Trump campaign priorities. The bill would allow the U.S. to deport up to 1 million people annually and hire thousands of new agents. The 1,000-page bill now heads to the Senate, where it will be debated under budget reconciliation rules. That process requires only a simple majority to pass, bypassing the usual 60-vote Senate threshold. It will add about $3.8 trillion to the federal government's $36.2 trillion in debt over the next decade, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. The bill passed despite growing concerns over the U.S. debt, which has reached 124% of GDP, prompting a downgrade of the United States' top-notch credit rating by Moody's last week. The proposal nearly failed last week due to GOP divisions over cost and regional tax deduction caps. As recently as May 20th, it wasn't clear House Republicans would be able to get the bill endorsed by Trump across the finish line. Speaker Mike Johnson pushed for a final vote by Memorial Day, calling it a test of Republican unity. House Republicans spent 21 hours in the Rules Committee to finalize amendments and push the bill forward. If passed in the Senate, the bill will mark one of the most consequential acts of Trump's second term.
Well, today's a historic day, and today's a great day for the hard-working, tax-paying Americans. The People's House has delivered on President Trump's America First agenda. Our one big beautiful bill cuts taxes for hardworking Americans and small businesses, putting more money directly back into the pockets of those hardworking Americans. It provides critical resources to secure our border and deport criminal, illegal aliens, the same dangerous individuals that Joe Biden allowed to flood into our country every day. It restores American energy dominance by rolling back the radical Green New Deal scam and unleashing domestic production. And it takes direct aim at waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington, making government more efficient and more accountable for the American taxpayer. For example, our bill tackles fraud in the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program. A GAO report uncovered instances where federal employees illegally placed non-family members on their taxpayer-subsidized health plans. The one big beautiful bill ends this abuse, saving taxpayers $1.5 billion. We're proud the House passed this legislation. Now the Senate must do its job.
It's beautiful to me because House Republicans, under the leadership of Mike Johnson and Donald Trump, showed the American people that we will do what we promised. And we showed the world that the borders of the United States of America are sovereign and secure. Our team, my Committee of Homeland Security, has been poring over this for a year on how best to do this. My staff, who some of them are here, thank you for your hard work. We're going to construct and add to the border wall with technology, cameras, lights, access. We're going to invest in the people who put their ass on the line to keep us safe every day. more training, more equipment, modernized equipment, better facilities. It's the right thing to do. We're going to end the threats to the people of this country from the cartels, from the gangs that poured across our southern border in the fentanyl, and who knows what else with the terrorists that got across the border under the last administration. It all comes to an end. And I want to again thank my team and thank the leadership of this conference. 40 years I think we've been trying to push through border security. I mean, all these different bills, many of which were baits and swaps, and this guy pulled us all together and got it done. We finally secured the sovereign border of the United States. Thank you, and I'll be followed by the speaker.
Well, this crew behind me is exhausted, so we're going to take maybe one or two questions and call it a day.
Speaker Johnson, was there a pivotal moment that sort of shifted the momentum on this bill? 24 hours ago, the House Freedom Caucus was standing right here saying that they needed another 7 to 10 days to negotiate the legislation. What changed over the course of the last 24 hours?
There were a number of pivotal moments. We have 220 Republicans in the House Republican Conference, and lots of different opinions that represent very different districts around the country with very different interests. But the principle and the philosophy is always the same. Everybody's conservative. We believe in limited government. We believe in individual freedom, rule of law, and peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, and free markets, and human dignity, the things that are all wrapped into this bill. And so I would say there was a lot of pivotal moments. One day I might actually write a book about the last year of my life. But I'll say, look, I'm just going to say, I give glory to God. I mean, there's a lot of prayer that brought this together. I'm just going to be very blunt about it. There was a few moments over the last week when it looked like the thing might fall apart, and I went to the little chapel over here and got on my knees and prayed that these guys would have wisdom and stamina and discernment. And that's the secret here, and teamwork, and mutual respect. Everybody has one another. And I think that's what defines the Republican Party. It's a great day to be an American. It's a great day to be a Republican. Yes.
For you, those who go to the Senate, they're likely going to change it a lot. They're prepared to do this again and kind of.
No, all the senators, every one of them that promised me they're not going to change anything in our bill. I was honored to be at the Senate Republican luncheon on Tuesday. And, I encourage them to remember that we have a very delicate equilibrium that we've reached up here. A lot of work went into this to find exactly the right balance. And you all saw how perilous that it was over the last week as it developed. And I encourage our Senate colleagues to think of this as a one-team effort, as we have, and to modify this as little as possible, because it will make it easier for us to get it over the line ultimately and finished and get it to the President's desk by July 4th. And that's a big thing. The reason we were so aggressive, and I know some of y'all smiled and probably mocked me a little bit when I said early on we were going to do this by Memorial Day. You didn't believe it. I know you didn't, Reese. Most of you didn't. But the reason we did that was not because out of pride of authorship or because we were trying to raise some banner. We did it because we need to get this relief to the American people as soon as possible. And President Trump made these promises on the campaign trail, and we did as well. And we wanted, as Jim Jordan likes to say, we're going to do what we said we were going to do. And that's what this bill represents. And so the timetable is important. We also have the debt ceiling approaching. We've got the relief that the people need. And the sooner they feel that relief, the better. So we did our job, rolled up our sleeves, got it done. We're really proud of that effort. One more question.
Is there anything that the Senate might be considering in terms of changing this bill that you all will not accept?
I'm not going to draw any red lines. Look, I told them there's a lot of different opinions over there as there is here. They have a small margin as we do. We had a 3-vote margin. By the way, I just want you to know for the record, we really had 217 votes this morning. Andrew Garbarino did not make it in time. He fell asleep in the back. No kidding. I know. I'm going to sprinkle it, but and he's my dear friend. And then David Schweiker was going to vote and slipped his card in right at the last minute. So it looks like a razor-thin margin, 215 to 214 and one president. It was really 217. Okay, we all put a footnote somewhere in history. They're both going to go on record saying that's how they would have voted if they got the card in on time. Thank you so much for being here. Bless you all. Thank you.
Can you respond to the attack